So you remember those issues that once threatened your life, made you feel like, oh no, this is the end of me. If I do not get out of this, I do not even know how I'm going to survive life. And so you panicked. You mentioned God. You cried to him. You begged him, in fact, that Father, please help me to overcome this situation, because I do not see how I'm going out of this alive. I do not see how I'm going out of this in one piece. And if you do not take me to the other side, I think my life is over. But God didn't even flinch. He didn't even seem to care about how you felt in that point in time. You tried to make him see how heavy the issue was, and you thought that if he did not help, if he did not intervene in the way that you believed he should have intervened, then there was no other way that you would come out of that situation. But God almost always never act or react when we approach him emotionally. You see, most of the time when we come to God with the pain in our heart, with the issues of life that has pegged us down, we think that he has to remove that issue. We think that the only way out of these situations, or the only way out of these predicaments, is if he acted in a particular way that we believe our solution is embodied in. But God always has a way of solving our situation in a way that we do not see it when we are right in the storm. When we are right in the fire, we cannot understand why he is taking us even in the fire in the first place. You've begged God, for instance, to allow that person to stay in your life. You've begged God, for instance, to not allow that job to go, or rather to give you that opportunity which you feel so much strongly about, that this is it. This is the opportunity that I have been waiting for. This is a lifetime opportunity that I can never afford to miss. But God still let it pass. But God still let those people live your life. But God still excluded you in that plan that you thought was the plan of the year, that will make you now break through to the other end of life that you've been dreaming for. Because God looks at the situation strategically. He does not judge our situations emotionally. If he did, then he would have not allowed Jesus to face death, because you can remember that Jesus prayed. In fact, he prayed until he sweated blood, but asking God that if it's possible that he remove that cup of suffering, because it was too heavy for him. But God was looking at the bigger picture. God was strategic. God wanted to ensure that the purpose that Jesus came here on earth was fulfilled, and that we finally get a hope, a lifeline to connect with God through salvation, that which Jesus came to achieve. So it is the same way that God looks at our situation. He will not uplift that problem if that is the only way that he can get you to become the person that he wants you to become, before he allows you to access some levels of blessing, some opportunities in life, or some levels of growth that you are so much interested in. So the growth is still there. The blessing is still there. The opportunity is still there for you. But God will not allow you to get there until that fire that you are afraid of, that storm that you do not want to go through, until you've passed through it and it shapes you into the person God wants you to become. Because God is really interested in our character, in making our character before he can give us the blessing. Because blessings without character is actually nothing. Remember, God doesn't want to bless us and lose us. He doesn't want us to become to hold the things that we so much cry for and eventually lose our souls to the devil. The most important thing for Christ, in fact, is that our souls prosper even as we prosper in other things. So he'll make sure that those heavy liftings, those things that you think are not so much pleasing to go through, that you cry for him to lift off, he will allow them to happen. He will allow them to manifest, so that you can learn. Focus on learning, on learning who God wants you to become. Focus on the lessons of that season. Focus on what is it that God is teaching me, so that you do not miss the training of that season, and so that you shorten the season that you have to walk through the fire. And because everyone has to go through the fire, there is no other way out. There is no other shortcut. There is no lifting the fire out. God only promised that when you go through the fire, he will be with you. He did not say that he will remove the fire, he will quench the fire, or he will remove the storm. He said he will walk through with you. So when you're crying, when you think that situation is too heavy for you to bear, when you think that this situation is going to kill me, this the end of me, like I do not see how I can go out of this situation, remember, God is still there with you even in that situation, and he wants you to go through it faithfully until you learn what it is that he's teaching you. Whether it's pride is trying to kill, whether it's ego, whether it's envy, whether it's jealousy, he has to take you through that season until that which he's pruning out of you is really pruned, and that he can trust you with whatever it is that you've been praying for, with whatever it is that you've been asking. And that's when eventually you'll get to hold that which God had promised for you. May you be encouraged in whatever season of life you are in at the moment, and trust God that even at however tough that situation may look, he is there with you, and you will come out victoriously, and that you will eventually become the person that God really wants you to become.